Hey y'all, welcome in. Welcome to this live session. Today we're going to talk about what your body won't let go of, but your mind won't forget. Okay. This is important because your body is keeping score of every single time that you ignored it. I'm going to tell you exactly what it's holding on to and why your therapist might be missing this. Okay. So, my name is Fantana Shatamsa. I am a holistic wellness practitioner, a trauma informed body worker. I am a registered massage therapist, a registered Reiki practitioner, Kemetic yoga teacher, and a birth doula. So I really help women come out of survival mode. So perhaps you've been in fight or flight mode for so long, but you're still a high performer. So you show up great, you look great, you achieve all your goals, but inside you're feeling super stressed, super anxious, and super disconnected from your body. So I help women get out of that fight or flight mode and heal their body pain naturally and rebuild their self trust so that they can live a life of joy and pleasure. So, welcome to this live. Um, we're going to talk about why your therapist might have missed some of this during your sessions. Okay. And I love therapy. I'm a fan of therapy. I still do therapy. I've done therapy for many years, but therapy can only take us so far. Okay. This is the issue that we have as women is that we intellectualize, we try to read up on everything. We try to learn as much as we can, but we're missing that embodiment practice, right? Your mind can forget, right? Your mind actually has the power of dissociation, forgetting little things, right? Forgetting big things. But your body always remembers and holds on to the trauma, the pain, the distrust, all of that stuff. So whenever you have pushed through when something was bothering you. You didn't listen to your gut. You pushed through pain. You might have been feeling pain in your body, chronic headaches, stomach upset, low back pain, anxiety, shaking. Anytime you ignored this, your nervous system actually recorded it. So your body, it's going to remember it. There's going to be certain smells that trigger you, certain people that trigger you, certain foods that trigger you, and you might not be able to remember why that is, but your body's remembering because it's connecting that trigger to an experience that has happened. Okay, so when you're feeling this tightness in your shoulders, like that's not just tension, that's your body holding the weight of every single responsibility that you have. And the only way that we can truly heal out of this as women is not just through talking and reading and learning all the time. We have to learn how to train our nervous system, regulate our emotions, and actually process that trauma and those emotions out of the body. Okay. So, here's a few things that people actually get wrong when trying to release trauma from the body and move past, pain and hurt. Okay. So, they try, number one, to release without safety. So, you're kind of just jumping into something new. And, for example, you'll take like a 30-day, detox, or you'll go into therapy, like commit to like a year of therapy where you have to talk about your trauma for like an hour straight. You'll, join a gym or something, and you're committing to something. You're going so hard at it at the beginning. That is going to dysregulate you so much and re-traumatize you. Okay, if you just throw yourself in there, like you might be able to get through it for a short time, but over time you're going to feel so dysregulated and burnt out that you're not going to be able to sustain it or keep that pattern stable, that new routine and that consistency stable, because you're going to dysregulate yourself so much you're not going to feel safe in it. So without creating safety, we're actually re-traumatizing ourselves through overexposure. Okay, the second thing is that you just try to force yourself to do it, right? Again, this is back to the safety thing. So rather than creating conditions of safety, rather than building trust around you and in the circumstances around you, rather than doing like micro exposures, which is something I teach in the sanctuary, you try to force your body into it, and it'll shut down, it'll reject, and you'll eventually just fall off, and then you'll get into the shame cycle. You'll start to beat yourself up, right? Has anyone ever done this? I've definitely done this many, many times, right? Um, And then you try to treat your body, number 3, you try to treat your body like a problem instead of, something that you actually work with, that your body's actually your protector, it's your partner. When these things show up, like when you experience swelling, when you experience, like your throat is closing, or when you get triggered, when you get overstimulated, when you start feeling pain in your body's actually communicating with you. It's trying to protect you. And sometimes we just treat this like a problem. We're like, let me go get diagnosed. Let me go get some medication. I want this thing to stop. No, like we have to learn how to actually trust and understand our body so that we can work with it to actually heal. Because you're going to create more resistance in yourself subconsciously. You're not even going to be aware of it. Okay. So, if you want to get deeper into this, actually, tomorrow night we're doing a masterclass inside the sanctuary. The sanctuary is a healing space for high performing women who are feeling stressed and overwhelmed and burnt out, and they want to reconnect with their body. They want to lower their cortisol levels, get out of fight or flight, and rebuild that self trust. So, we have this online community for women. You can join free for 7 days, and I teach you all of the things that you really need to know how to heal the feminine way. Okay, I blend ancient wisdom with modern science. I've been doing this for the past 10 years, and this is the key that really helps women heal in a feminine way, because we can't heal the same way the masculine heals. For us, I use the three pillars, which is nervous system regulation. We learn how to retrain our brain, retrain our mind, create safety in the brain, right? So that we can actually regulate our emotions. The second pillar is body based healing. So we're not just staying in the mind, we're actually taking the felt emotions, the felt trauma, and we're learning how to move it out of our body through things like gentle movement, through yoga, through breath work, through sound vibrational healing. Okay, we're doing these things, self massage, self reiki, body love, body care, all those opportunities that we can have to actually touch, feel, reconnect, and feel safe with our body. Okay, release that shame that it's not okay for you to touch your body. It's not okay for you to practice self-care, do skincare, do your hair care, look beautiful, dress well, right? There's so much shame associated with that, but that is where our power lies. So we need to tap back into that body wisdom. Okay, so we do the nervous system regulating, the somatic healing, and the third one is through divine feminine energy reconnection. So this is our spiritual practice, right? So we have mind, body, and then we have our spirit. So what does this mean? We often look at spirituality as something external. We look at God as something external. God is actually inside of us. We were created in God's image, and God is divine. We've tried to pigeonhole God into a masculine, a feminine, um, saying that God is super condemning, and you should feel shame with these things. And religion has taught us this, society has taught us this. No, the divine is masculine, feminine, nurturing, loving, and nothing more than um, just wanting for you to experience love and to experience self actualization, because you are also divine. So when you tap into your divine feminine power and you release that shame and you realize, yeah, it's okay for me to feel joy. It's okay for me to feel pleasure, right? This is part of divine love, right? And this is part of the divine feminine love. So when we reconnect with that through our womb, through our sacral chakra, we learn to release that shame, and we start to experience abundance. We reconnect with our creativity, and we reconnect with our beauty, which is an important part of divine feminine power and energy. So if you're interested in all that, come into the sanctuary. You can join 7 days free, and definitely join us for tomorrow night's masterclass, where I'm going to be giving you a step by step guide for um, a step-by-step guide for how to actually body map. So realizing where the pain is in your body, what that means, like what it's actually connected to, what it's related to. And then we're going to go into micro exposure practices. So what are some small things that we can do to create safety in our nervous system so that we can move past the challenges that we have in our life? Okay. So, yes, link is in the chats. So I'm going to pin it in the description so you'll be able to have it. Just join that and you can join us tomorrow night. But yes, back to tonight's topic. Okay. So your body is actually keeping score every time that you ignored it, right? So trauma, like I said, is not just stored in the brain, it's stored in your body. It's stored on a cellular level, on a tissue level, on an organ system level, in your fluids, right? And your cellular structure. Like you, if you are experiencing fight or flight and you're in fight or flight mode all the time, like you're stressed all the time, your cortisol levels are high all the time, that's going to change your cellular structure and it's going to create toxicity in your body. So what does this mean? You're going to start experiencing high blood pressure, you're going to start experiencing heart conditions, you're going to like be storing fat, storing inflammation in your body because your body is trying to protect itself. And what does like why does this happen? When we are ready to fight, right? When we feel like we're stressed, our body doesn't understand the difference. Our nervous system doesn't know if we're actually under attack by a real threat or if we're just scared to write an email. Okay, it's going to respond the same way, and so blood pressure goes up because you have to be ready to fight. You got to be ready to defend, you got to be ready to resist. So blood pressure goes up, right? You start to store fat because your body needs fuel. It needs to go in preservation mode. So you're going to start, finding it really hard to release fat from your body. You're going to find it hard to lose weight. And then the swelling and inflammation, that's also a body response. It's a physiological response to high cortisol and high stress because your body systems, your lymphatic system, circulatory system, they're not going to be functioning at optimal state if they're just focused on keeping you safe, right? If your kids are stressing you out, your job is stressing you out, your relationship is stressing you out, your finances are stressing you out, if you wake up stressed all the time, your body is in fight or flight mode. And so intellectually, you might feel like, I'm stressed, but I got to get up and I got to do these things, but your body it's going to start keeping score, start keeping a tally. And if it hasn't already, you're going to notice the signs in your body, right? Again, your blood pressure, cortisol levels are high, your heart rate is starting to be high, right? You can't relax, right? You feel like your mind is just always on and racing. And so these are going to transcend into actual health problems that we don't want you to experience, okay? So every time you override your intuition and don't listen to that inner voice, when you push through, when you feel exhausted, um, and anytime that you just put yourself in a situation that is re-traumatizing to you, your nervous system is going to remember, right? Your body's going to remember, and like I said, it's going to show up in your body in many different ways, right? And again, I talk about this in some of my master classes and some of the videos here on YouTube, but our intuition as women, this is our gift. And unfortunately, we have been told through religion, through society, through media, to override that, right? Like we've been told overreacting, you're too sensitive, right? You're doing too much. Like if you dress up and you want to look cute, you're doing too much, right? This is all in your head, right? All this gaslighting. And so what do we do as women? We begin to stop listening to our inner voice and looking externally for answers, right? And then that's when we become so disconnected from our power, and that's when we start getting all of these dysregulation symptoms, right? So nervous system is dysregulated, you're overthinking, am I doing too much? Like did I overreact? Should I set a stronger boundary? Was my boundary too strong? You start to question yourself, and what does that lead to? It leads to anxiety, depression, disconnection from yourself, anger, frustration, irritability, resentment. You start developing all these emotions, and they get so big that you can't regulate it. So how does that spill out into the rest of your life? Maybe you just have emotional outbursts with your kids. You feel like you're crying all the time in your relationship. You feel angry and irritable every time you go to work. Right? These are all symptoms of dysregulation and disconnection, right? Survival mode. And so inside the sanctuary, that is what we do. We learn to regulate our thoughts, regulate our emotions, heal the body, take that trauma out of the body, process it out, and then reconnect with our divine. Because, like I said, our intuition, that is our power. Okay. Your softness, that is your power. Your beauty, that is your power. So we're getting rid of all the rhetoric around like this is vanity and you're doing too much and you should have shame in your body, you're revealing too much, like no, none of that is real. You are powerful, and women are used for multiple things, right? To promote, for advertising, media, political campaigns, everything, because there is a power in us, and I'm going to teach you how to reconnect with that without any shame. Okay. So again, the places that we hold tension, ooh, it's not random. Okay, sorry, I just heard some motorcycle flying by. The places that we hold tension in our body is not random, right? Thing, every every posture that we have, every upset stomach that we have, every ache that we have, any sharp shooting pain, swelling, all of this is communication. None of this is random. They're all messages. Okay. As an example, when we get stressed, most people start to get headaches, chronic migraines. And this is because your posture changes. When we're stressed, our shoulders go up. We start to round, right? And then we start to feel like our breathing is shallow because our diaphragm is collapsed. Our stomach starts to contract. So that leads to stomach issues, stomach challenges. So stress even has a posture. So I can look at someone that walks in, I've been in my practice for 10 years, they can walk in and I can automatically tell if they have issues releasing control, if they have issues speaking their truth, right? Because they'll have tight jaw, they'll be clenching their jaws. Um, if you have issues with control, I'll see it in your shoulders. You're walking around like this. If you have issues with safety or stability, right? I'm gonna notice how you walk, right? Because your hips are gonna be tightened uh, unbalanced in a certain way. The joints are going to be unbalanced in a certain way because muscles are pulling on certain joints and certain bones in a particular way because you're so stressed, right? You just feel unsafe in your body. So I'm able to tell all of this just by how a person comes in. The inflammation, where's the inflammation in your body, right? And if someone starts, is telling me like they have, constant stomach aches or things with bowels, I'm going to know that that's an emotional thing, and I'm going to ask them some questions about your life to figure out what is actually being stored, and we can help do that. We help with that body mapping to heal not just the physical body but the emotions and the trauma underneath there. Okay, so um if you are interested in exploring this further, again, dive into the sanctuary, the Healing Sanctuary, Sacred Lotus Healing Sanctuary. That is a free online community for women, trauma informed, where we learn how to get out of this fight or flight mode, right? And then once we do that, again, like I said, we learn to heal the body, what is being stored in the body. And then from there, we go into how do we reconnect with the divine feminine inside of us? And so tomorrow's masterclass, like I said, we're going to learn about the storage model. So where is the pain showing up? Why is it stuck? And what does it actually mean on a physical level and an emotional level? And then we're going to create a storage map. So again, understanding um, how these things are connected, right? If my throat is always feeling like it's closing in and my stomach's always upset, what's the connection there, right? And then we're going to go over micro practices. So what are some things that you can actually do in your life to create that safety, right? We're not going to re-traumatize ourselves. We're not going to force ourselves. We're actually going to go through it on a step-by-step level. And so you can join that masterclass for free. Like I said, the link is in the description for this live. And what else you get in the sanctuary, besides a beautiful sisterhood of women that are healing and liberating ourselves on a daily basis, you will find several programs in there. You'll get a step by step path for where to start if you're just starting your healing journey, how to begin to understand how your nervous system works, understand how your body works, and start developing small practices to get yourself safe with these ideas and start to feel safe with peace and calm and quietness in your life. And then you're going to find a full library of targeted practices. So we do stuff for the shoulders. We work through the shoulder pain. We work through the hip pain. We work through the heart. So is there heartbreak that you're still holding on to? Is there grief? Is there resentment? Is there jealousy? And is that showing up as heart pain, chest pain, right? We work through these emotions and the physical pain associated with them. And then we also do womb healing. So again, this is our important um, intuition spiritual center as women. So the womb healing, we're learning how to open up our sacral chakra. We're learning how to reconnect and listen to our intuition. We're learning how to feel safe with joy and pleasure again, right? We're learning what safety even means. And this is all here in our womb space. So we learn whether or not you have a physical womb. This is also an energetic space. So we learn how to connect with that again, and we also have our live weekly somatic healing sessions. So you can join us on a Wednesday night. Just hop on live. You can keep your camera on or off, and we're going to go through a live somatic healing. So this is body based healing practice. So it could be anything from self massage, it could be from self Reiki. We would also learn how to, um, oh gosh, what's the other thing? We do sound healing lives, right? I do sound healing sessions because I teach about vibration and how we are vibration, we are frequency. And so, how can sound actually resonate and help to break up trauma, help to break up emotions, and help the body to flow, fluids to flow much easier? We also do live kinetic yoga. So, Kemetic yoga is a specific sort of yoga style. It's a spiritual practice where we go through yoga poses, but with that ancestral awareness. So, all of the poses that we go through are taught to us by our ancient Kemetic ancestors. So, the poses have come from ancient Kemet, from the temples, from the pyramids. They show us how to release blockages, how to live in harmony with each other, how to control our breath, and to live a beautiful and abundant, healthy life. So that is the practice of Kemetic yoga. Teach Kemetic yoga inside there, um, and yeah, we do breath work for our somatic healing sessions. I explain the importance of the breath. Right, it's not just you're feeling stressed. Take a deep breath in and out. Why? 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 Like people say that to us all the time. Do you understand why that is? It's actually very powerful. And you can watch one of my other videos here on YouTube that talks about the science behind the breath. And then we get even deeper to it inside the sanctuary. And then Monday nights, we do our master classes. So every Monday night, I go in and I teach you guys the actual theory and the practice behind some of the issues that we have and the healing behind it. So for example, tomorrow night we're going to be going deeper into the body healing, the trauma healing in the body, where we're doing um, somatic healing. We're doing the trauma storage model, so we're learning where the body is actually holding trauma and emotions, and then we're going to come up with a map around like how these things are connected and where does the trauma and emotion need to be released to. And then we're going to get into the micro practices to start releasing it. So I'm going to be teaching the ladies exactly how to work through each of these sections and how to create safety in your life so that you can help to release this from your body. Okay, so the link to join for free is in the description here. And if you have any questions, let me know. Put them in the chat and I'd be happy to answer them for you. And then, yeah, just a reminder that healing happens when your nervous system believes that it's safe. Okay, your nervous system's only job is to keep it safe. And so, if we can create those conditions of safety, whether in our lives or in our body, we want to feel safe in our body again. Like most of us are so disconnected that we are ignoring pain, right? You've had shoulder pain, neck pain, headaches for years now, and you just feel like it's normal. Maybe that's not normal. Okay. You don't have to be struggling with that. We learn to ignore, our own intuition over time, right? We learn to disregard what our emotions are telling us, right? Those signals, those alarm signals, and that's creating so much disconnection from ourselves, and we stop feeling safe in our body. We just stop trusting ourselves. So inside the sanctuary, we learn how to rebuild that self trust and create that safety in our nervous system, so that you can reclaim your life, right? Get out of the passenger seat. I know you're watching your life pass you by. You're just letting things happen to you. You feel like you cannot make the right next decision. I got you in there. Okay. Okay. We got this. I got you. So, baby girl, take care. Peace and blessings. And we will chat very soon. Ciao.